offer as deadline closes. Players are seeking a salary cap of $10 million, 30% of league revenue. The league believes it will cost it'll be an atrocious loss. 30% is crazy, bro. How do you give 30% of something you ain't got?
We're 48 hours away from a possible lockout, and the gap between what the players want and what the league can actually afford isn't just wide. It's a financial canyon that could shut down the entire 2025 season. That frustration you just heard isn't just commentary. Adam Silver is reportedly at his breaking point with these CBA negotiations.
The report goes on to say, you heard a lot of chatter about what we're asking for. It's not sustainable for the business. Nafisa Collier said during an Unrivaled broadcast Monday. Being on this side with Unrivaled, I know what it takes to run a sustainable business. Yeah, but you ain't had this business for 30 damn years. If they can't find a...
This is the number that's causing everything to go wrong. 30%. 2 weeks ago, the WNBA Players Association submitted a proposal calling for a salary cap increase from $1.5 million to $10.5 million per club, as well as 30% of gross revenue. On January 7, 2025, Front Office Sports verified these numbers. In response, the league estimates that this idea would cause $700 million in losses over the course of the CBA. Not lower earnings, but actual losses that would force franchises into bankruptcy.
To put people in place who can. We're proving that it's possible. There is a way. We're thriving in it. Y'all thriving in it. Your league only been around for 2 years. How could you base your 2-year data off 30-year data? They've been having to pay salaries, pay for arenas, pay for different things for the last 30 years. And they just now, we don't even know if they even made a profit. Just last year when Caitlin Clark came, they was at a $24 million loss. Do we all forget this?
This is where things become interesting. So let's discuss what the league actually promised. The WNBA suggested paying players 70% of net revenue at the beginning of December. Net revenue rather than gross income, as the participants desire. This amounts to about 15% of the league's gross revenue, according to people involved with the negotiations. Each team's payroll cap would rise from $1.5 million to $5 million. Over the course of the deal, average earnings would exceed $500,000 and maximum salaries would reach $1.3 million. That exceeds the current salary cap by more than 3 times. That's not a modest gesture for a league that has never made money. However, because they prefer gross income sharing, the players rejected it. Not right now.
Now, Nafisa Collier been tripping. It says both sides agreed to second extension hours before the CBA was set to expire on November the 30th. Last month, the WBPA authorized a strike in a vote that included 93% of participation from players. 98% voted to allow the union's executive committee to call a strike when necessary. Now, if both sides can agree...
This is the reason this negotiation is so risky. The deadline was agreed to be extended twice by both parties. First on November 30th, when the initial CBA was scheduled to expire, and then once more in late December. However, we are already on January 7th, and the midnight deadline on January 9th is drawing near. And no agreement is being discussed. 93% of the players participated in the WNBA Players Association's November strike authorization vote. 98% of those who cast ballots approved the executive committee's authority to declare a strike if needed. That isn't a strategy for negotiation. There is a loaded gun on the table.
Work stoppage, whether in the form of a lockout initiated by the owners or strike initiated by the players, would not be automatic. If neither side initiated a work stoppage, negotiation could instead enter a period of status quo. Under the terms, so this is what's finna happen possibly, y'all. So it said, under the terms of the current CBA, the players cannot strike without terminating the extended agreement. But if negotiations are under status quo, the union could call a strike at any...
And this is the system that virtually guarantees a strike. Players cannot go on strike under the parameters of the current CBA without ending the contract. However, the union has the right to organize a strike at any time without prior notice if negotiations reach what is known as a status quo phase after January 9th, which means the previous agreement continues while talks continue. There is no requirement for an extra vote or authorization. The executive committee is already in charge. Therefore, the possibility of a mid-season strike would loom over every game, every vote agreement, and every sponsorship discussion, even if we manage to avoid a lockout by January 9th. The league's momentum may be completely destroyed by that uncertainty alone.
Right. It is. If the union could call it, that's probably what's going to happen after the 9th. I'm the first one calling this. That's probably what's going to happen on the 9th, probably late January 9th. No more extensions. It's going to be a strike that will be forced by the union. The union is more than likely, from what I'm reading, it's going to be the ones to inflict this strike onto the WNBA. Now, that's what this...
Let's consider this 30% demand. Although the NBA generates around $10 billion in revenue annually and has a proven profit model that has been in place for decades, the players only earn about half of the money associated to basketball. In 2024, the WNBA brought in about $200 million. Industry estimates indicate that the players would take $60 million off the top before any expenses are covered if a $200 million league that is now losing money were to receive 30% of its gross revenue. The remaining $140 million is used for marketing, staff pay, travel, arena expenses, and broadcast production. And keep in mind that even without this pay structure, the league lost $24 million last year. Not only does the math not work, but it also ensures bankruptcy in 3 years.
Now, Adam Silver is frustrated as hell. Like, why we can't get this deal done? Like, it's not for to be a WNBA season, guys. I really don't think it is. Like, not if they're asking for down there half of the revenue. Like, how are we gonna give you half when we don't even have half to give? They don't even have half to give. Yeah, I do understand it, right? Guys, get down in the comment section right now. Let me know your thoughts about this one. Make sure you keep the bells on.
This is the point at which Adam Silver's annoyance makes perfect sense. According to a number of insiders, he thought a deal was effectively completed in early December of last year. In what they saw as a generous offer, the league tripled the wage cap, ensured revenue sharing for the first time in WNBA history, and paved the way for maximum salaries exceeding $1 million. Silver believed that the players would make little changes in response. They would come together in the center. The agreement would be made public prior to Christmas. Rather, the players returned with a 30% offer that the league deems unfeasible. Silver must now intervene directly and bargain over what he believed had already been resolved. Additionally, there is a deadline approaching that could lead to a strike or lockout, which would undo all of the enthusiasm that Caitlin Clark's debut season generated.
Fans, they're killing the interest. Y'all talking about fans, tweeting, us making videos. Y'all doing everything y'all can to sabotage y'all current little hype that y'all got, to the point now where the hype is so bad, hell, it's hard to get 5,000 views on a video right now. I just gotta keep it real because ain't nobody else gonna see it. Everybody is struggling. If your name ain't Rachel Demento, you're struggling. I'm sorry. It's that bad. But us trying to report on this thing is keeping on.
This is the aspect that every WNBA fan ought to be concerned about. The league just had its greatest season ever. In certain markets, Caitlin Clark's ratings quadrupled. The Indiana Fever went from playing in front of 4,000 spectators to packing arenas with 17,000 seats. Sales of merchandise surged. The WNBA had unprecedented levels of national media attention. After decades of ignoring the league, corporate sponsors suddenly expressed interest in joining. In reaction to this extraordinary expansion, the players are calling for a financial system that would eliminate all of those benefits and cause the league to suffer irreversible losses. It's not that players shouldn't be compensated more. They certainly do. It's that 30% demand of gross revenue from a league.
Being said, bruh, let's dive into this article that has just been released about an hour ago, man. This is for Front Office Sports. Not even an hour, yeah, about an hour ago. So this is the current state of the WNBA. It's a WNBA
league that has never made money is not a tactic used in negotiations. It's a pack for suicide. This is the reason why everyone concerned finds this scenario so particularly aggravating. The players' complaints are valid. For elite professional players, WNBA earnings have been shockingly low. To earn a respectable living, many athletes have had to play all year round abroad. For many years, the league has made insufficient marketing investments. Instead of viewing the WNBA as a legitimate company, its owners have viewed it as a charitable endeavor. All of it is accurate, but demanding financial terms that ensure the league's demise isn't the answer to decades of underinvestment. The WNBA can expand, but it will take time, as seen by the Caitlin Clark impact. You are unable to. One successful season and a revenue-sharing plan that disregards fundamental economics can end 30 years of stagnation. As a starting point, the league's offer of 70% of net revenue makes reasonable. Net revenue is the amount left over after paying bills, stadium expenses, travel, production, and personnel. Players receive the majority of this money. It is sustainable. Growth is thus possible. This establishes a partnership in which everyone gains from the league's success. However, gross revenue sharing ensures that players receive payment prior to expenses. It is successful in the NBA because revenue is so enormous that billions of dollars remain to pay expenses and turn a profit even after players are paid 50% of the total. In a $2,000 million league that is losing money right now, 30% off the top is a financial disaster. The issue with Adam Silver's involvement is as follows. He is not required to be present. The WNBA is subsidized by the NBA, but Silver could simply advise the owners to do it on their own. The NBA is still dedicated to making this work, but that dedication has its limits, as seen by the fact that he is personally negotiating. All of Caitlin Clark's momentum will vanish if the 2025 season is canceled or severely postponed due to a strike by the players or a lockout by the owners. New viewers who are casual fans won't wait for labor problems to be settled. Sponsors will reallocate their funds. The time slots will be filled with other programs by broadcasters. The window of a 2024 opportunity will abruptly close and may not reopen for 10 more years. Consider the stakes in this situation. In terms of relevance, visibility, and financial viability, the WNBA has never been better than it is now. There is talk about expansion teams. There is interest from new markets. A record number of young girls are purchasing jerseys and going to games. Now that the cultural moment has finally arrived, the players are threatening to blow it up over a revenue-sharing proportion that financial experts in the sports industry claim cannot be sustained. Nor challenging, nor unachievable. Several analysts have performed the calculations. In a league with the existing financial structure of the WNBA, 30% of gross bankruptcy is equal to revenue. Not possibly, not in the long run. Teams would begin to disband within 3 years. What then takes place on NAR 9th? According to the present reports, the most likely scenario is that negotiations enter a status quo period if no agreement is achieved. In theory, the previous CBA is still in effect as negotiations continue. But keep in mind what that implies. Without further permission, the union may declare a strike at any time. The start of training camps is scheduled for April. May marks the start of the season. Imagine trying to invest millions of dollars as a sponsor when the players are the only ones under pressure and you don't even know if there will be games to promote. As of right now, the league has offered to triple salaries and introduces revenue sharing for the first time. The proprietors have demonstrated their willingness to make growth-oriented investments. The NBA's ongoing financial support is indicated by Adam Silver's personal involvement.